Hello everybody and welcome to the TTVJ YouTube channel. Today we're going up into the upper echelons of high-end audio. We're going to talk about the Esoteric Grandioso S1X Pure Class A Power Amplifier. Esoteric says of their Grandioso S1X that it is their new milestone in the world of high-end Class A stereo power amplifiers, delivering reference-grade performance and setting a new benchmark for transparency, dynamics, and musical realism. So we're going to put it to the test and see if they're telling the truth, which, well, you'll find out here. Esoteric makes some of the finest audio gear by our estimations. All their components are top-notch and deliver audiophile sound for the highest end listener. I have had a lot of experience over the years with their SA/CD players and amplifiers and have found them much to my liking. We actually had the first KO1 SA/CD player. We brought that in a long time ago and have kind of evolved into buying different SA/CD players for a long time. We currently have a complete Esoteric demo system, and we're super excited when the opportunity to check out one of their premier Esoteric Grandioso products, the S1X Class A Power Amp, when it became available for us to audition. The S1X is audiophile grade reference power amplifier. I was looking forward to putting it through its paces and hearing for myself what all the fuss is about. Once I got the box open and was ready to remove the S1X, I noticed it was quite large and a bit too heavy for me to remove by myself, with the S1X weighing in at 106 pounds. So with assistance, I got it out of the box and set it up for use. It's one big heavy son of a gun. I hooked it up in our current high-end system. Our test system for this review consists of the preamp section of our Esoteric FO2, utilizing Esoteric's PS01F power supply. This is their top-of-the-line unit in their standard Esoteric line. With vinyl, we used a Transrotor Massimo turntable with a reed tone arm and a Lyra Etna Lambda cartridge into the Esoteric EO2 phono preamp. For our digital sources, we use an Esoteric KO3 XDSE player and an N05XD streamer for streaming some music. The S1X is beautifully built. It is as solid as any amp I have ever owned and looks stunning. I am certain it could win an award at an art show. I mean, it is just absolutely beautiful. It is that impressive to see in person. It is very classy and very much eye candy. Not only is the chassis beautiful to the eye, but it is designed to be fully functional with great rigidity. A semi-floating top panel with honeycomb grills and a wave-shaped heatsink take care of heat management and reduces resonance. The S1X we used got warm, but not nearly as hot as many of the other Class A amps that we have used here. During the summer, that can be a bad thing. Here in Montana in the winter, a nice warm amp, you know, it can kind of cuddle up around it and listen. But this didn't get tremendously hot. It was just warm to the touch. Even the Esoteric design pinpoint feet look good and greatly reduce vibration from entering the amp. Everything about this amp contributes to its ability to reproduce sound at its best. Felt pads are also included to put on the feet to avoid scratching the surface of your rack. Starting with the front panel, the S1X has the unit's standby and on button. Front and center toward the bottom of the front panel. Press this button to turn the unit on or to put it in standby mode. After turning the unit on, the power indicator light, which is a soft blue light located right above the standby on button, will blink and no sound will output for a few seconds. Once the indicator stops blinking and stays lit, the amp is ready to rock. The rear panel has some very nice features. It's a little busier than some of the rear panels of some of the amps that I own and have owned. It is fitted with analog input connectors to connect to the analog output connectors of the preamp. Set the input selector switch to choose the connector you will use. Inputs include RCA, XLR, and ESL-A. I tested the S1X using balanced AudioQuest Dragon interconnect cables via the ESLA input. For ESLA connections, it is recommended to use balanced XLR cables that are shielded. Using cables that are not shielded may cause noise. We'll have a little more on the ESLA connection here in a minute. Also, the rear panel are trigger connectors. These can be used to control power from an external source. 3.5 millimeter mono mini plug cables are used for this connection. In turns it on or puts it into the standby mode in coordination with the connected device. Through allows a connection to another Grandioso S1X unit by connecting this trigger to the trigger in on the second Grandioso S1X. An auto power save switch enables or disables the automatic power saving function. When the automatic power saving function is on and no audio input from the selected input source for 30 minutes, the unit will enter standby mode automatically, which can be handy, especially if you're my age and listening to music and fall asleep. The LED brightness knob is used to adjust the brightness of the power indicator, which is also very nice. An IEC power cable input connection accommodates the supplied Esoteric power cable or an aftermarket power cable. Esoteric recommends the use of their supplied power cable. I used that along with an AudioQuest Dragon high current power cable. I heard better results with the AQ Dragon, but got very good results also with the supplied power cable. A signal grounding terminal for use to create grounding connections with speakers, preamplifiers, or other equipment is also supplied. This might improve the sound quality. I did not test this function as the system didn't have any ground noise at all, so I didn't bother hooking it up. This is not a safety ground terminal. The input selector switch is used to choose between RCA, XLR, and ESLA inputs. The ESLA input is used to connect other esoteric products. It is a proprietary connection, so other manufacturers' products will not be able to take advantage of this connection. So what exactly is an ESLA? It is a current transmission method that utilizes the performance of high current line driver buffer circuits that create the ability to supply strong current at high speed. This suppresses the impact of impedance on signal paths, enabling pure, powerful transmission of signals. Balanced XLR cables are used to connect an esoteric preamp to the S1X. Last but not least is an output mode selector switch, which allows you to use the S1X as a stereo power amplifier or in biamp operation mode. The S1X operates in pure Class A with up to 50 watts per channel into 8 ohms or 100 watts into 4 ohms. This is achieved using Esoteric's newly engineered 5-parallel push-pull drive stage using large bipolar transistors. This is where the dynamics and the transparency come from in the amp. In order to supply plenty of current for low noise and superior channel separation, a 3-transformer configuration is implemented. These oversized transformers are used for the main drive, pre-drive, and control, and are paired with custom Grandioso 10,000 microfarad capacitors with 6 for each channel. The layout is dual mono using large copper bus bars to keep impedance and interference at a minimum. This translates to fast transient response and dynamics that deliver a realistic punch. And for a Class A amp, this had more punch than any other Class A amp I've ever heard. I mostly listen to classic rock, but also spend time listening to jazz and classical for my listening sessions. With rock music, I ran through the S1X. There was plenty of punch and dynamics, better than any other Class A amp I have heard, as I previously mentioned. The music came through with realism and a liveliness that drew me into the sound and held me captive. I wasn't expecting the S1X to be this good with rock. It didn't lack the liveliness and dynamics other Class A seemed to miss a bit. I moved on to some jazz and classical and immediately noticed the largeness and precision of the orchestra. Soundstage and imaging were precise and on a rather grand scale. Small jazz ensembles were tight, precise, and delivered the heart and soul of the performance. The more I listened, the more I was impressed. Instruments sound as they should, with great detail and texture. When the recordings were well recorded, the sound was open and music flowed from the S1X. The music was painted with vivid colors on the musical palette. Nothing was missing from the recording. Every minute detail came through. It is well balanced, not favoring highs, lows, or mids. All were delivered in their proper proportion, with authority when needed and delicacy when called for. Low-level resolution and transparency was magnificent, revealing the traits of the hall or studio that the recording was made in. I will mention how spectacular the Joni Mitchell Mobile Fidelity Court and Spark album sounded. Every intimate vocal or instrument came through, and it really sounded as if she was there singing and playing. It was very engaging, and I could sit there and listen to that all day. I had some friends listen, and they all said the same thing, how engaging and how just natural and real it sounded. The music came from pitch black background, noise never being an issue. The S1X is most impressive, and an amp I wish everyone could hear. I only wish I could have paired it with other Grandioso pieces to hear the full capability of the amp in a Grandioso system. It sounded plenty good with my system, but being an audiophile, I'm always searching for even more, which, you know how that goes. That's an expensive search. Packing up the S1X brought a bit of sorrow as it bested my Esoteric FO2. I have to tell myself to be content, at least for now. The S1X has made its mark for the highest standard these ears have heard. The specs are, as I previously stated, 50 watts in the 8 ohms and 100 watts in the 4 ohms of pure Class A power with a frequency response of 5 Hz to 100 kHz at plus 0 dB to minus 3 dB into 8 ohms. Signal to noise ratio is an excellent 109 dB, and total harmonic distortion a mere 0.006% at 1 kHz into 8 ohms at 50 watts. It has a gain of 28.5 dB with the XLR input and 34.5 dB of gain using the RCA inputs. The S1X weighs in at 106 pounds and measures 19.3 inches wide by 9 inches tall and 21 inches deep. It is big, beautiful, heavy, and built to last a long lifetime. The S1X can also be used as a monoblock, though the Grandioso M1X was made for that purpose. So to summarize, we are in awe of the Grandioso S1X and have it at the top of our wish list. Its outstanding transparency and natural sound presentation set it above the other Class A amps we have auditioned. It had more dynamic slam with rock music and never sounded bored or recessed. The S1X was always in control of the music, never missing a beat or a sound. The highest end audiophile should consider Grandioso S1X as your next power amplifier if you don't already have one. It sits amongst the pinnacle of Class A amps currently available. Currently the S1X sells for $37,000 and is available through TTVJ Audio. Call us with questions or to order. And I would like to give a big thank you to Keith Haas and Rob Stanley at Playback Distribution for allowing me to give the S1X test drive. Thank you for watching our video, and see you next time.